Hello and welcome back to What's Up with Energy, a GridX podcast. I'm your host, Georgia Knapp, and today the theme of the show is going to be how utilities are transforming to win the energy transition. And to help me learn more about this is Claudia Häpp, Senior Vice President of Customer Solutions with E.ON Deutschland. So Claudia, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, and thanks for hosting me here in that nice environment at GridX.
Yeah, and I mean, E.ON and GridX, we obviously have a very close relationship, so I'm glad to finally have somebody on the podcast from E.ON. I also just realized I said E.ON Deutschland and not E.ON Germany, which was a little strange.
Yeah, it's E.ON Deutschland GmbH. That's absolutely correct. Yeah, so.
For anybody who doesn't know E.ON, which I think with our podcast listeners would actually be quite rare, but just in case, could you maybe give just a brief introduction and why you're with, we say E.ON Deutschland and not like just E.ON?
Yeah, so E.ON is an international company, and there are mainly two parts. So there is a grid part, everything about networks and so on, so all over Europe. And there is a retail part where E.ON Deutschland is one part in. So, but also international. Also, we are also available or placed in different countries. And I'm part of the E.ON Deutschland retail, if you want to call it like this. So we are selling energy, but also selling and offering customer solutions, like also the area where I'm responsible in. So our solution business is about PV installations, for instance, about heat pumps, about wall boxes, bidirectional charging, a very interesting topic, and the core of it, which combines it all, and that's also where I'm active in and mainly responsible for, is the energy management system, so the so-called HEMSY, Home Energy Management System, and yeah, it's an own business field, own business area, which is growing, scaling, which has quite a lot of challenges, and it's super interesting to work in that area.
Nice. And just kind of going off of the energy management thing, you brought the HEMSY plushie toy today, and we saw the HEMSY mascot walking around the Smarter E fair this year. I'm just a little curious, is like when people hear HEMSY, do they know what that is standing for?
So I think there is two different types of customers out there. So HEMSY stands for our home energy management system, and it's as you mentioned, the plushie toy, or it's I really like it. Yeah, so it's and. You can also keep it because it's a present for you. I brought it, Georgia, for you to keep it here. So our end customers do not really know about HEMSY so far. So energy management system, I would say, is still something which comes via new installations to the home. So in 80% of cases, a energy management system like the GridX box or the E.ON Home Energy Management System, which is technology-wise the same, it comes via PV installations. So now when you get a new PV installation, a battery, you get an energy management system. In addition, so installers know it. It's really a core topic and becomes more and more relevant for any kind of asset installation. So now PV installation without a energy management system won't work in the future, because dump PV installations or dump PV wall box installations or heat pump installations won't be successful, I'm pretty sure, because the different reasons for that. Yeah, there is the regulation part, like 14A, paragraph 9, and so on, and the energy management fulfills such regulation or regulatory requirements. But on the other hand, with the energy management system, we offer so much more possibilities for energy saving to our end customers. And the installer is the is the one who has the connection to the end customer. So now, of course, we need to convince, of course, first the installer or educate them also what's going on, what potentials there are, but then the end customer. So HEMSY is, I think it's well known in my, at least my media bubble, on LinkedIn and so on. But for the end customer, it's still new, but when we defined it, so when we designed it, more or less this plushie, we really took care also to show here the connections, how easy it is to connect, because it's a technical device which is nice and but easy to explain if you have such a gadget in your hand, and it helps.
So to jump more into the topic of this episode, how would you describe the shift that utilities like E.ON are undergoing right now in the face of the energy transition?
So, well, there is one big thing, which is the volatility in the energy network when it comes to demand and supply. Mm-hmm. So we have more and more renewables in our grid, mm-hmm. and we know sun is not always available, winter times night and so on, wind also not. So we have to find a solution to offer stable energy production, stable supply. On the other hand, we have more and more volatility on the demand side. When it comes to electrification of heating, you mentioned the heat pump before. The complete all cars will be electric in a certain time, and mm-hmm. More and more people are installing PV on their roof, having batteries. We talk about bidirectional charging. So on both sides, it's getting more like or bigger uncertainty, and so we need to find ways to balance that. And that's a big challenge because, as mentioned before, E.ON is on both sides active. We are mm-hmm. active on the grid side, so on the supply side, and we are active on the retail side, mm-hmm. and offering customer solutions. So it's really exciting. And in between, we have a lot of regulation coming up in a higher frequency. So when I started at E.ON, like nearly 8 years ago, of course, there was also regulation, but it was not like in that high frequency when new things came up, like paragraph 14a, paragraph 9 EEG, so renewable energies and so on, Lieferantenwechsel 24 hours. So something which is really driving that business. They are struggling because not always IT systems are prepared for that. You need to find ways of clear communication between the grid and households we have. Obviously, I mean, that's nothing new. We do not have enough smart meters in the field, which would help to digitize, which would help to bring data from our households to the net operators, to retail and so on. So now it's quite interesting time, and I think to see it positive, it gives opportunities for new business models. It mm-hmm. gives opportunities for those who really adapt to the market, who really listen to the customer, who find solutions which are attractive, because in the end, it's all about our customers. Mm-hmm. So and we have to listen. And maybe in the past, especially the big ones, did not listen so much because it was more clear. It was like a system which was running. We had complete downstream. So so there was the challenge was not as big. But now it's getting more challenging also because energy is becoming, it's getting away from being a commodity. It's a topic people are talking about. So it's more a public. It's more since the energy crisis, especially. It's getting more transparent. What energy really means, what challenges there are, and so on. And in the past, I think it was like given. Power comes out of your plugs at home, and of course you pay for it, but it was not so interesting. And now it's it's more part of official conversations and everyday conversations. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think it used to be there was even a study about this. It was either in the U.S. or Europe, but how people used to, you just signed on to the energy company of like your grandparents, your parents, like everyone just used the same. And now there's so many players, and now, as you said, like we're more aware of what's available, of the consequences, and so you're actually like researching the different energy providers and like what is best for you.
Exactly. And it's much more easier to change your contract with all the digitization along the customer journey. Yeah, you have apps, you can just quit the contract and then get a new one with more or less like 3 clicks. Yeah, so it's super easy, and that's completely okay and totally great to do that. But of course, people are, and our customers are they change easier then, So between suppliers, and but as mentioned, I like competition. I think it's good. It pushes us as big company also, which is great, and it improves in terms of the energy transformation, which is needed absolutely. So it helps us to find better products, better solutions for our customers and for the climate change. So it's good.
And as I think consumers are becoming more aware of the importance of energy independence, or we call them prosumers. So as that need is becoming greater and more people want to become a prosumer rather than a consumer, how has E.ON changed to meet that need?
So E.ON Germany is mainly a supplier in suburban or rural areas, so where a lot of people own their property, own their homes, and are so-called prosumers. Yeah, many of them have PV installations, more and more getting or buying, installing wall boxes and heat pumps. So our customer, we have a big customer base in that prosumer area, and of course we offer solutions for them who are more attractive to make or to even get more out of their assets. Yeah. So we have different kind of tariff offers so far in the field. So, for instance, for those having a electric car, and if you adapt your charging behavior and do the loading mainly via night, then you get a big bonus for that. And so you are you have definitely monetary advantages, and it's even better for the grid, as mentioned now, because of the volatility and so on. So it's a good solution. So we offer more and more solutions for those prosumers, because more and more households are getting to that, especially also when you think of batteries standalone, for instance, even without PV installation, will be in the near future will be realistic. So also for those renting a flat or not owning a complete home or not having a PV installation on the roof, so it will be for a broader mass available. And then we have more asset owners, so we need to offer also more solutions for them. So it's increasing market, let's call it like this. The prosumer is an increasing market.
Yeah. And then you are, as we said earlier, part of the customer solutions team. In this sense, like, what does solutions mean in today's utilities context, and how is that different from the past?
So solutions in our definition are assets like PV installations, including batteries, wall boxes, and heat pumps. And a big, in the past, solutions were also interesting, and we are offering it now. So if you go to our website, you can purchase heat pumps and so on. And we also have a big installation area now where we have own installation companies offering PV installations. So this was always is the business also since years now. I think in the beginning it was more like that we saw, somebody owning a wall box is of course consuming a lot of energy, which is good for us, but we did not really make something out of it. No? And now with the energy management system as enabler to connect to those assets and to connect to those households, we make use of the flexibility behind. So our E.ON Home Energy Management System is more or less like a collector of energy flow in the home and making that transparent, offering a lot of data. And we know how the household is behaving and what the household's need is now when the car has to be loaded, what the heat pump measures are, and so on. And we offer solutions in the context of flexibility, shift a little bit of load, give, of course, a bonus, as mentioned before, with that special tariff and so on. So we offer a bonus for the customer in order to participate in that load shifting, in that flexibility area. And in the end, it saves energy costs for the customer, and it saves also the grid. It gives also savings to the grid and a better balance for the grid. Yeah, so it's a win-win situation. So customer solution business is now more in between the household, but also not towards the grid. So it's not just retail anymore. Yeah, not just kilowatt hours pushing through.
Yeah,
but it's also the other way around.
It's like more holistic.
Exactly.
Now, can you share any recent innovations or partnerships that E.ON has taken part of as part of this new, like the digitization and pushing the energy transition forward?
Yeah, so we recently launched a product, a solution for existing power tariff customers, but also for those who are now hopefully are our customers in the future, and those who having a PV installation including a battery.
Okay.
So all those who have that PV installation with a battery, our tariff, and install the E.ON Home Energy Management System, so our HEMSY, more or less, they get a special bonus because we make use of the load of the battery. Yeah, so we offer that. It's a first MVP what we launched recently. It's really just like I think 3 weeks ago. Yeah, so it was beginning of July. But if you go to our website, of course, you find information there. You can book it there. So and feedback is very positive. Yeah, because the battery is more or less standing in the cellar. It's not used, but you as customer can really make money out of it if you now let us optimize your assets. So if we do not really manage it in like that we steer it and you have no power anymore. No, but our customers can get optimization and can even reduce the energy costs. And that's, I think, a pretty cool stuff. It's just the beginning of a journey of solutions coming. Yeah, there is much more under development. That's also now part of my teams are working on. So I'm super excited and I'm happy with that solution. And now we try to learn more out of it, to improve that. It's just at the beginning. Yeah.
Do you know how E.ON fosters innovation at scale in such a large organization? Is it about mindset, structure, talent, or is it all of the above?
So I think it's a mixture. Innovation, you can't do that you set a target like now be innovative and everybody is innovative. No, this won't happen. Yeah. Definitely not like this. Also, I think it's in the end, it's all about people. Those you need a bunch of people having a vision, having an idea, trying something out. And honestly speaking, my motto is more like ask for forgiveness than for every permission, because you can imagine in such a big company, it's often that you have, of course, you have dedicated processes for everything. So a lot of internal regulation and so on, which is super relevant and fine and so on for all the mass products we're offering. But innovation starts usually with like 2-3 customers, a product idea. It's very. You also have to take care that it's not destroyed before it's even before it was even born. Yeah. So so you have to, and it's about people. It's about an environment where you can try out something. Where you have, of course, a little bit of budget and so on, and to make things happen. Yeah, and in the end, come back. It's about people trying to give it. So I mean, I'm happy to work with such a team. Yeah, to come up with great ideas, and that's also how it started when we implemented Gridix. So we just, I think it came via post. So we came over and took a few of those boxes. Looked for a few customers having a compatible installation and in their homes, and then started to try it. For instance, I was also, or still am, in consumer households and doing installations on my own. So really to be super close to the product, being super close to our customers, to their questions. So I was in so many cellars, because usually installation happens in a cellar next to the inverter. So there's a switch usually, or next to the heat pump and so on. There's also an internet connection, must be in the same network. But at least you definitely go to the cellar once when you have a look at the inverter and so on. So and it was super exciting. I think it's a base for innovation to be super close to your customer, to your customer needs. Yeah. And it makes fun. So I really like it.
And a bit ago, you were talking about installers. And that's something that's like been a topic in our office as well. How have you found, I don't know how to word it, but like, how have you found installers, like are they excited to work with E.ON? Are they hesitant to work with E.ON? Because usually installers, they're much smaller companies. So do you guys find that it's easy to show them the benefits of working with E.ON?
So there is two channels, more or less, in our case. And we, as E.ON, have our own subsidiaries, like own PV installation companies, like to name them, it's Glasula, it's Meampere, HSL, and Borowski. So very great companies with great people. And of course, we offer the solution to them, so our energy management to them. And we did like first iterations and first tries also with those companies. But we extended it because the idea of E.ON is to offer more flexibility, to offer more energy saving potential for our customers. So we need really to scale, to have a broad range of customers out there. So we also extended the partnerships to other installers, which are not E.ON owned or not part of the E.ON family. So, and in that case, we found an innovative company quite close to Munich, and this installer company did like also first step with us. So, and in the end, it was the same as innovation itself means, or as mentioned before with the product innovation. It's about people. So you need to find somebody who is open for that, doing the first steps in installing it, trying something out, learn, improve, and so on, and then talk about it. And then others come, and then you can talk about testimonials. And so this is how it worked. And now we are scaling that channel, which really works good. And I completely believe that channel is one of those for the German market. I mean, I can't judge about other countries on that topic, but for the German market, it is definitely an interesting channel because many PV installations, heat pump installations, wallbox installations are done by the local installer.
Yeah.
And those companies we are addressing. Of course, there is some doing like a German-wide approach, and that's also super great and so on. But in our case, we also focus on those smaller companies.
Yeah.
And there is super smart ones with them. Yeah, so it's we learn from day to day. So in our case, our installers are our customers. So and they bring it to their customer, and it's super interesting to work with them to learn how this Mittelstand in Germany works.
Yeah.
And we also realize, for instance, they need much more support along the process than we first thought. Yeah, so we thought the installers
Okay.
exactly. So you, but whenever you have. When they feel confident with the solution we are offering with the E.ON Home Energy Management systems, including tariffs, whenever they feel confident and have like after a few installations, a handful of installations, so they really scale. So then it's a self-running system, and that's super nice. Yeah, they're happy customers. So happy customer, happy E.ON. Yeah, so.
And then my last question before we get to the rapid fire round is just, do you have any advice for any energy incumbents who are also trying to navigate this new energy world?
Yeah, so I would start with a vision. So now why it's relevant for you to get active in that new energy area, or now why you're offering customer solutions or energy management system, whatever. But then really break it down to small steps, because this is also what I learned in working in big companies. I also work super close with startups, and in this is what startups are really great in having a vision, but breaking it down to single steps and to get started. Yeah, so get things done. I think it's also here on your walls. Yeah, get shit done or get things done. Yeah, exactly. So just do it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink. Don't work too much on PowerPoint and planning and I don't know what, because 10% is strategy, but 90% is execution in the end to be successful, and especially in those quick transforming markets, we don't have time. So climate is not waiting for us, and not being problems are not being solved on PowerPoint, but on real execution out there. So just get started, and happy to reach out to me so I can, of course, answer any other question. But yeah.
Nice.
Good.
And that brings us into our rapid fire round. So I just have.
I'm super surprised now.
What comes they're not fun. They're not fun. They're not hard. Sorry.
Okay.
They're not fun. My God. So what is the most energy efficient thing you've done this month?
Most energy efficient thing. I mean, we have a PV installation. We have an electric car. I'm riding a lot on my bike instead of a car.
That's a lot.
Yeah, this is probably. And I'm using the water. And I mean, currently we have a lot of water in the now because it's raining all the time. Now July is full of water.
Yeah.
And we use water we collect in our little garden, for instance, to wash the Gummistiefel of my kids instead of now using the water coming from the
hose.
Exactly. Oh. So maybe this is also a little bit energy efficient. Yeah.
Nice.
Water efficient.
What has been your favorite piece of energy news this year?
I mean, this came from us, from E.ON itself. So we were participating at the Intersolar, so the biggest PV fair here in Europe, with over 100,000 customers or visitors. And we participated there with an own booth after 6 years. And this was the news we produced on our own. I mean, for me, in my bubble, it was the biggest news.
Yeah.
It was not, this was really cool stuff. there is more or less like every day great news coming from startups, from competitors, from us now with the launch of that flex storage solution recently. So there's too much to reduce it to one. So yeah.
If you could be any home energy asset, which would you be?
Maybe I think I would be the battery, because it's a nice life. So you just stay, you wait until energy comes. Sometimes somebody's a little bit demanding out of it, but you have a completely relaxed life. Yeah. So you are quite a lot in media today. So everybody, there's a big hopes in a battery, and it's relaxed and easy to be a battery.
Nice. I don't think anyone has said that one. In your opinion, what is the most overused energy buzzword?
Smart meter.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I don't get it still why it's so hard to bring that. I mean, I have a smart meter at home.
Yeah.
I'm one of the 3 or nearly 3% of German households owning a real smart meter with a gateway and so. But honestly, it was no effort to build it in.
Okay.
And on the other hand, it's something which is hanging in my cellar. I do not really have I do not look at all the energy data every day, like now that it's the most important thing for me. And it's just one piece. So I think the problem is it's the focus is on that product itself. It's an enabler. So in my case, it's an enabler. So it's a relevant piece of infrastructure, and we need to get rid of that debate about it, which is so not really constructive and so frustrating. But we just need to do it, to offer it as combination, or for instance a tariff, or now when you build a new home and so on, then you get it anyhow, hopefully. But yeah, smart meter, it's buzzword. Yeah.
And then my last one is, if you had a magic wand and could fix one barrier to the energy transition, which would it be?
I would wish more. Well, it's more a wish. I think it's not really fixing a dedicated single problem, but I would wish to have the focus more on the end-to-end view, because, and this is what regulatory shows quite a lot, if you change on one hand side, for instance, the paragraph 9 and so on, EEG, you make it even worse on the other side. Yeah, so it's in that case, now that you could say like with paragraph 9, homeowners are confused if it really makes sense still to invest in PV installations, because there is regulation and it has to be shut off, or not only 60% is allowed to feed in and so on. Oh, it's so complicated, and I don't know. No, I don't buy PV installations. So maybe the idea of those regulation was, for sure, there was an idea behind, and it's relevant, definitely. But on the other hand, it influences like the PV installations itself. So really to have a view on the end to end, and in the end, it's about the climate. I mean, we have more dramatic climate occasions, like it's raining like hell, it's hot like hell, the sea is warming up and so on. So I think everybody who's saying no, there isn't climate change is completely wrong. And even some presidents don't like windmills next to their golfplatz. It's okay. I mean, no, sorry, but completely wrong. So no. But so really having that end-to-end view, and in the end, you need an advocate for the climate and not just for the single players across. I would vote for an advocate for the climate. Yeah.
Nice, I agree. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been really just interesting to hear your perspective on all this.
Yeah, welcome. It was fun. Thanks, and hopefully you like to have the HEMSY.
Yeah.
in your home then, yeah?
I'll put it on my very special shelf that neither my cat or dog can reach.
Okay,
so
that's good. Good.
Thank you so much.
Good.
If you'd like to learn more about the world of renewable energy or energy management systems, be sure to check out our website, gridx.ai, where we produce regular blogs and glossaries about the subject. You can also follow us on LinkedIn or on Twitter and Instagram at GetGridX.